Why is the Middle Grounds, a.k.a. the Stratford Shoal, considered to be one of the most haunted lighthouses in the Long Island Sound? Also, how I got caught in a severe lightning storm leaving Huntington Harbor. Stay tuned in, guys. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. This is episode number 62 in the studio, season 2. And I have special guest today, first mate for Sand City Charter, Corey's Customs. We have Corey in the house. Also, Captain Corey, congratulations.
Thank you very
got
much.
Your captain's license this year. Where'd you go to get that?
I got it done at the Nautical School
Uh-huh.
down in Islip.
Nautical School. So, guys, I recommend it at the beginning of every podcast. I tell you to head over to nauticalschool.com, and you could check out the Nautical School for maritime licensing. There is no better place to go to renew or to get a captain's license. I recommend them very highly. Visit nauticalschool.com. We're going to have Captain Mike on Bay Rats and Buoys, the boat show series that we will be doing in just 34 days from the Jacob Javits Center at the New York Boat Show. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see him again. We were just talking about it with him, and it's going to be an awesome episode. But yeah, Captain School is a great place to go. Corey got his captain's license this year. You also got your STCW.
Yes.
So you passed that certification. And, everybody's got to take that. So if you're going to be on a big yacht, even the chef has to have that. I recently had a captain's dinner with Captain Mike and Derek, who's the captain of the King's Pointer.
Right.
And, they all knew right away STC. They even said what it was, but,
If you're going to work on any commercial boat, you are most likely going to need your STCW.
Right. Standard and training certificate.
Watchkeeping.
Watchkeeping.
Yes.
For seafarers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you need. You got to get that if you're going to work on any of the big boats. And you were getting it to work on the tugboat.
Yes, I was.
So, congratulations. You got that. You're all done. And now we're going to move into the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club, guys, because once the holidays is over, we are going to kick this club off. It's going to start hardcore, and you will be able to sign up and be one of the founding members of the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club, which will kick off right after the holidays. We got we're 7 days away from Christmas and 14 days away from bringing in 2026. So, it's right around the corner, guys. We got 2 weeks until next year already.
Yeah, I can't wait. This year flew by way too quick.
Yeah, it was a great year. When good years go by, they go by pretty quick. When you're having a shitty year, it feels like it lasts forever. So, yeah, this year was definitely a good year, especially fishing-wise. We talk about that every year. Last night, I had a great dinner and it's amazing, the winner of the Bay Rats and Buoys raffle. I went out to dinner with Eric and Keith, who was in my marina. He's now out in Moriches Inlet, and Captain Scott, who also, he has a contender. And we had a great time yesterday. We were at Mihana in Woodbury.
Okay.
Amazing restaurant. We had a great time, a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it. The food was fantastic. It was my first time there. I understand when I looked it up, they have one in Comac, and we went to the one in Woodbury, and it was fantastic. So thank you, Eric. That was a good time last night. Great seeing you guys. And I always love hanging out with different captains because we were hearing all kinds of crazy stories. And, everybody's always looking to upgrade. It doesn't matter what kind of boat you have. You're looking to upgrade.
Yep.
A 27 sailfish. I'm looking to upgrade for Sand City Charter. Eric's looking to upgrade. We were talking about the HCB that's in the harbor there.
Insane.
Everybody sees that, and they're just like, wow, that's the Powerball boat.
Yeah,
You hit
absolutely.
Powerball tonight, you can buy 2 of those. That's easy, but it really is a sick boat, that Estrella. It's insane.
It's on another level.
It
is. The color combinations, the power, the length, the size,
Even the lines of it. It's just a sexy big boat.
It is.
Usually a big boat is like, Right.
Usually they're a little bulky, they're a little wider, but this is just like a knife.
You see that, and it's just insane. 100%. You were on one at the boat show.
Yes.
You did the tour with one of the kids from the company.
Yep.
And they asked us not to post the price in the video because the price won't, when you watch this video throughout time on YouTube, the price will not be the same price that you saw at the boat show because they had it for like 1.2 million. It was,
right.
it was cheaper.
They had a special boat show price.
That's right. So we'll have those again this year, guys. We are excited. This year's boat show is going to be epic. We doubled in size for the booth, so we're a little bit bigger. We're going to have more interviews and a lot more sponsors and people that we're involved with, and we're going to be there working all 5 days. So that's going to be super exciting to tune into. What else is going on? I mean, this time of the year. I was just talking. I got a call from Tom, Outdoor Tom. Everybody knows him in Newsday. He writes the articles. He's Outdoor Tom. And Tom Schlichter gave me a call yesterday, and we were talking. And he actually said, "Have you been to Connecticut River yet?" And I said, "You know what? We're going. I have not been there yet. I have not been there yet for the year. I usually wait until right after the holidays to go.
Yeah.
I do. I usually go in January.
It's stressful right now with the holidays, trying to get there, between buying presents, between getting things ready. A lot of people are taking off, trying to get there before the holidays because now striped bass season and talk season's coming to an end. They're trying to get to the river.
Well, it ended on the North Shore, so they're still
Right.
They got until what? It ended on the 20th, so that's what, in 2 days it ends. I think on the 20th or the 22nd on the New York bite or the South Shore.
South Shore bite,
yeah,
yep.
South Shore, yeah. So that'll come to a close shortly, and fishing will shut down. I mean, we talk about the water temperature being freezing cold. I see a picture last week I get sent. Now, I posted in last week's episode, I mentioned a bunch of apps that I recommended. And because I had gotten the new Simrad 3012 NSX with the 12-inch screen, I forgot to recommend to you guys in last week's episode to download the My Radar app that I also run, because now I don't need the My Radar app because I have radar on the boat. But previously, I use it, and I always use it when I'm on somebody's boat that doesn't have radar. But one of the great features about it that I love is that I have it set to let me know when lightning is going to strike in Glen Cove, okay? I might set this back further, okay? I might set this back to when lightning strikes over New York City, and I'm going to tell you why. I learned a lot last year when I got caught in a lightning storm, and this was serious. This was like, holy shit. Turn around, go back. Meanwhile, I got blue skies in front of me. Wait till you hear this. But the My Radar app actually goes off on your phone and says, hey, lightning is striking where you have it set to tell you. And, I mean, they have this on golf courses. They have this technology, to alert people when there's dangerous lightning.
Lightning can be very dangerous on the water.
And you need to know. So you don't want to be out there in a lightning storm. And I got back to shore this one day. I looked up everything you need to know about lightning. And here's one of the peculiar things that I never even would have thought of this. But lightning can strike 30 miles in front of the storm. So you're not safe when you're 30 miles in front of it or 30 miles behind it. Anywhere within a 30-mile radius of that storm, lightning can strike without seeing any clouds or anything.
I had no idea.
So I went home and I looked at it. One of the things that I looked up was, does lightning strike a moving target more? Like, is it attracted to the moving target, or is it going to hit a still sailboat mast over that moving target? Like, what is it? Does it have a favorite?
Right.
Is it attracted to anything more? And the answer was no, that lightning strikes in random places. Whether it's moving or still, that's where the lightning was. So it's a matter of
right, just being in the right place.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Right.
And your hair is going to be standing up and you're going to be whistling if you don't die from it. And yeah. When I worked at Freedom Boat Club, Lou Anzalone, he was NYPD Harbor Patrol in the 80s or in the 80s and 90s, and he got hit by lightning twice out there on the boat. So when he told me that, I said, you go buy a lotto ticket because you have a better chance of winning lotto than you do getting hit by lightning. So
right.
You
Especially
could win
twice.
lotto. You should win lotto 2 or 3 times now. So yeah. So lightning is very dangerous, and I'm leaving Huntington Harbor one day. I get a call as a boat broken down off out. He's not far off of the ramp at Loco, off the stacks there, and his boat broke down, and I had to go out there and tow him. Now, when I'm leaving Huntington Harbor. I have pictures, and I'll show it to you. I have pictures. I have videos. I'll put this all up on the screen if I can find it, which I'm sure I can. Sometimes I tell you guys I'm going to put stuff up on the screen, and I don't. So if I don't put it up, it's because I just couldn't find it in time for me to throw in the B-roll. You know, I don't want to wait until tomorrow to have to go look through hard drives. It should be on my phone because it happened this year, and it was crazy. And I see the dark clouds coming, and I'm heading out of the harbor at the dark clouds. Now, I'm going to make a right turn and go north, exiting the harbor at the Huntington Light. Mm-hmm. Nothing but blue skies on the Connecticut side. 100% blue skies. Looks like you're going out to the Coast Guard station. Blue skies. Everything's fine. I thought I had this thing beat getting out of the harbor. Well, I had it beat until I got to the Huntington Lighthouse. And when I got to the Huntington Lighthouse, I cannot begin to tell you the torrential downpour that started at like the tip of this storm. I mean, it was literally like blue skies and a gray sky right above me. And it was raining so hard. I'm on the Zodiac. I gun this thing to go. I get up on plane and I'm gone. I'm out of here. I see blue skies and I'm heading for the Coast Guard station. Meanwhile, I want you to know the storm is coming that way. The storm is actually chasing me.
Right.
So I say to now I make an educated decision. The lightning that you're hearing and the thunder, I mean, it's something next level. I'm like, this is insane. Why? How am I in this position right now?
You never expect it.
I turn around and I make a 180. I make a 180, and while I make that 180, the wind that swirled up in the mist and the water that I had kicked up created a tornado. When I made a U-turn, you saw this swirl of wind and water like nothing I've ever seen before, and I felt like I was going to get blown away, like blown off the boat. This was nuts, and I decided I'm not going back into this thing to get into the harbor. I'm already drenched. I'm soaked. I mean, this is like to the point of no return. Hard rain. But now I'm concerned about the lightning because I'm driving back into it, and I want to drive away from it. Right. That was my first reaction. It was either fight or flee, and I was like, I'm fleeing this. I'm not fighting lightning. So
I don't think you could win that one.
I decide to head as fast as I can out into the Sound, and when I kid you not, I'm not even at Target Rock yet, and this storm really has the bay covered. And I'm seeing lightning over Eaton's Neck, over the bay, and over Lloyd. And I feel like I'm looking straight up in the sky, and I'm seeing lightning, and it's like I'm right in the middle of this thing. And here I am going 35 miles an hour, thinking I'm getting away from it, and it's right there. This thing is moving fast. So I head out into the Sound. I get out, and I realize, I have to go east to get these guys off the stacks. Now, I had called them, thank God for my headset that I have, because that piece of equipment that I've recommended to you guys all the time is really like, I don't know what I would do on the boat without it. Because when you put that on, there's noise cancellation. I can call you. It doesn't even sound like I'm on a boat. And I called the people I was going out to rescue and said, hey, you guys got to hunker down. They were already anchored up because they were broken down. They were disabled. So they had already set their anchor. But I said, you don't know what's coming your way. Like, this is major lightning. You guys get in the bathroom. Like, really don't touch anything metal. I gave them fair warning and said, as soon as I can, I'm going to be right behind this thing and I'll come out there. I get out into the Sound. I'm driving west. I'm heading away from this. To go to blue skies.
Right.
And now I'm off of like the sand hole, and I got blue skies, and it's calm. It looks like I'm in a beautiful sunny day. I have it on the video.
Like nothing happened.
Like, you look this way and northwest and northwest, and there's blue skies and beautiful day, and what's coming over this way was just insane. And it passed by, and I was actually following it, the end of it, to get to them. Mm-hmm. When I got home and learned that I was still in the danger of the lightning, following it, because 30 miles radius around this thing,
think that.
You think it's you're out of the clouds, you're in the clear. Mm-hmm. Not the case. So And then, we get to them. I pull up to them, and we have, now we have stories. We got stories to tell. They were just like, we couldn't believe we were in this thing. I think they were telling me they got hit with hail, and like it was just like an insane. The rain that came down was nuts. So there you go, guys. You're gonna want to have the My Radar app, and know when that lightning is coming, because that was the sickest lightning storm I've ever been in on the water. More or less, I turned around to escape it, and I said, "Holy shit, I can't!" But the conditions were like I felt like I get blown off the boat. Like, I've never been in wind and anything like that.
It just kicks up.
It was unbelievable. So, hopefully that doesn't happen again. But again, when you're out on the water every day like I am, whether it be as a commercial tow captain or a fishing charter, I mean, how many times are me and you out there in the Sound? Yeah. And we see the storm over Connecticut.
Yep.
And we're fishing right near the state line, right in that area. And we know we're in the clear of this thing, but we see that they're getting pummeled on the Connecticut side.
Yeah, it's happened to me over the summertime. I was fishing Connecticut side. I was actually on the Connecticut side, and I saw the storm come by Northport, passing me. As it started to pass me, started to come around towards Connecticut. I went right around it. By the time I got to Sand City, just as if Moses parted it. Gray on one side, blue on the other, and I'm doing 35 back home. Back to the mooring.
Right.
And it's catching up to me.
Yeah, they're fast. Storms move fast.
By the time I get to the mooring, and this isn't far, it's maybe, half a mile between Sand City and the mooring?
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more than that. By the time I got to the mooring, it was just pouring on me.
Right.
Like, you could fill up a 5-gallon bucket in 5 minutes.
Now, where he's describing Sand City to his mooring, you could actually take that app, Navionics, and draw a line from Sand City right to his mooring, and it will tell you exactly how far that is. And these are things that you, as a captain, you want to know. How wide is the bay that I'm in? How many miles across is it? And that's what that app is great for. It really is. If you want to know something, we could pull it up right now and look at it and tell you exactly how far the mooring was from Sand City, and look it up and tell you. Which is why I recommended those apps last week, and I forgot to tell you to download the My Radar app. So that's one you're going to want to add to your collection. It's great. I don't use it as much. It's still on my phone, but I don't use it as much because now we have radar with the Simrad 3012 and the NSX. I just love that unit.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have it on my boat, but I use the My Radar app.
That's it. You got to use it. It doesn't matter what boat you're on. You're going to want to have that so that you know when lightning is going to strike and when storms are coming. And you can see it. I've had friends, Joe and Kenny and a whole bunch of other guys that had boats that would actually text me and say, hey, what does the radar say?
Right.
I'm like,
download the app.
Why don't you have the My Radar app? And I'm sending them because it's beautiful. You pull it up, you see it, and then you just say, oh, I want to share this. And you click share, and it sends the actual image, the video, to the person showing the clouds coming in their direction, and it's yellow and red and green.
And it tells you if it's going to be rain or wind or
you're going to get
snow.
pummeled. Get out of there. Run. Run.
Going to tell you exactly what you need to know.
Yeah, it's a great app. Really is. So that's recommended to you here in episode 62, and that was the crazy, the crazy thing that happened to me. I'd have to say that was the craziest thing that really happened to me out there in 2025 on the water, was that getting caught in that lightning storm. And, the videos, even when you watch, unless you're watching like Deadliest Catch or something,
right?
The camera never does justice to the size of any waves.
Nope.
Like the waves me and you encountered coming back from Stanford. I told Eric last night, I said, Eric, we took these ladies across for lunch. We come back into 30 mile an hour, 30 plus mile an hour winds coming out of the south. And when winds are out of the south, Connecticut gets pounded. When they're out of the north, our side gets hit. And I was telling him there were 3-footers in Stratford Harbor. And he knows what 3-footers in Stratford Harbor are because Eric has been caught in some major, major waves in the Sound on his 38 outrage.
Right.
And
that boat will handle it.
So I told him the minute we got past those breakers, It was 6-footers. They doubled in size easily. And he's like, yeah, so how long? He guessed right away. He was like, what, it'd take an hour to get back? I was like, yeah, dude. Lucky to be pushing 10 miles an hour tops up and down those things. But
that had to been the worst conditions.
We knew this. So we knew this leaving the marina. We knew this. We said to them, hey,
yeah, it's got to be bad.
These are the two options. We get in an Uber and we take a ride back. And me and you will come back the next day and grab the boat.
Right.
Or everybody's getting wet, and we're in for a decent ass kicking. And what did we get? We got a decent ass kicking. Yeah. So they wanted to go back and get wet. They said getting wet was not a problem. They had their bathing suits on. They actually had fun.
Enjoyed.
They actually had fun, which was.
Yeah, they got off the boat with a smile on their face.
Yeah, which was kind of cool. You know, it could have been total opposite where you feel bad and get, but listen,
right.
Even after you warn somebody, they may not be prepared to take water over and splash and get soaked. Where are you putting your phone? Where are you hiding your phone when that's happening? Because that's everybody's first instinct is, oh my God, my phone's in my pocket, or I'm holding it in my hand and you got it up in the air while the wave's coming over you.
Yeah, one of them was definitely
destroyed. Phone definitely got wet for sure. But yeah, so you got to know your weather. Weather's a big, big part out there. You think because we're in the Long Island Sound. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this that one of the most haunted places in the Long Island Sound is the Stratford Shoal, a.k.a. we all know it as the Middle Grounds, just off of Port Jeff, just outside. And back when I worked for Freedom and I was training people out of that area, I went and I Wikipedia'd the Stratford Shoal. And on the Wikipedia, it doesn't really tell you how haunted it is. But if you go Google the haunted Stratford Shoal or the haunted Middle Grounds, just type them in with the word haunted in it, you will get the stories that come up. And there's only a couple of them, but still, there was enough for a lot of people to hear and see different things over the years. And it was interesting because they call it the Stratford Shoal, but it was built by New York. New York built it originally. It's 1,000 feet on the Connecticut side in the Long Island Sound.
So it's really Connecticut.
Yeah, so it's technically the Stratford Shoal because it's on the Connecticut. It's into Connecticut by 1,000 feet. But very interesting. You can go look that up. I actually have the computer here to tell you some of the things that had happened. And one of them I remember reading about it was the church bells, that a boat left Bridgeport delivering church bells. And this was before the Stratford Shoal had its tower, which took 6 years of construction to build because the weather was so inclement that it took them 6 years to build that.
Wow.
They built it within
time.
The windows. That's how rough they had. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the boat left Bridgeport delivering church bells, and before it had the tower, it hit the shoal, and the boat sunk, and everybody on the boat died. And they say now that on a rough day, you can still hear church bells in the waves on rough days at the Middle Grounds. That's how haunted that is from that ship sinking there. The other one that we had for the Stratford Shoal was also the two keepers. There was a suicidal assistant keeper. So there were 3 keepers on there, 2 assistants, and the main keeper. The main keeper went away on vacation and left behind Hulse and what was the other guy's name? Julius Coster. And Coster went crazy. He had psychological issues, and he went crazy. And they took him off the lighthouse because he threatened to break the light, and he locked himself in the lantern room for 3 days, and he was going to kill the other guy. And so they took him off, and 2 or 3 days after he was taken off the lighthouse, he committed suicide. So they say the tantrums that he had on the lighthouse still haunt the lighthouse. And what do they say here? Yeah, although the lighthouse was automated in 1969, local mariners who pass by still claim to hear lots of banging, grinding, and loud sounds as the ghost of Coster continues to throw tantrums.
Sounds like we got to go spend a night out there.
Yeah, not a chance. And this story comes from the people in Smithtown. The people in Smithtown actually think the lighthouse is the most haunted, like worse than the Amityville Horror House. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's their Amity Horror House. Is the Middle Grounds. And we fish it all the time. We were out there this year.
Yeah.
You know, we always make our way out to the middle grounds, past the middle grounds. And they built that lighthouse because of how dangerous the passage was here in the Sound. It was, everybody would run aground, hit rocks, sink ships, die. There's so many.
Right. You'd never expect it to go from 100, 200 feet to nothing.
Yeah.
In the middle of the Sound.
In 30 or 60 feet over there. You know, it's really,
right.
Yeah. So pretty cool. You could definitely Wikipedia that, look it up, or I'd recommend Googling it, because if you Google it, you'll see a better version of it's not on their Wikipedia page. But pretty cool, the Stratford Shoal being haunted. I don't spend too much time over there. I'm not spooked by it. I haven't heard any noises. I hear there's a lot of birds over there, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
There's always birds hanging out. It's pretty shallow. And again, if you use it in avionics, you can see exactly where you should and shouldn't be in that area. And it's very navigable now. You get over there. A lot of guys fishing it. And they say private boats are the best way to get out there. You know, doing it by any of that by land and binoculars, not happening. So you got to have a private boat to get out there. So that's the middle ground haunted story. I told you guys about the crazy lightning storm. Corey went to captain school. He got his master class license this year.
Yep.
And just took the STCW. Now, when you took the STCW, you had to go into a pool.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you texted me and said, guess what happened to me today? I actually thought you went in the water because of the STCW. And what did I write back? I wrote back something like, freeze your nuts off.
Right.
You know, because I knew where this was going. And sure as shit.
Yeah. So I was doing a delivery from Montauk to Belmore on a friend's Downeaster. It's 38 Downeaster. It's a beautiful boat. And those who know Downeaster, there's no real walkway on the side of the boat. You kind of got to walk on the gunnel, and there's a railing up on top. I walked up the gunnel, missed the railing, went right into the water.
But you went to grab the railing and you grabbed air.
Yep. I grabbed air. Just did one of these. I knew it. I'm like, oh, crap. And fell right in the water.
Yeah.
Went swimming.
Yep. And so seriously, now you're lucky they had heat in a cabin and whatnot, because on a
Right.
center console, you would have had blue lips and it would have been a whole different story.
Oh, absolutely. I'm more than that.
How cold was it? How cold was the water?
32.5 degrees. That's how cold the water was. Thank God there was a ladder on the dock, because if there wasn't, there's no way for me to get up.
You know they have
With all the layers on me, there's no ladder on the boat. You know, the boat's in its slip. You can't open the back door to get in without moving the boat forward. If there's nobody on the boat, and there's no ladder to get on the boat, and there's no ladder on the dock, you're swimming. Then there's no way to get back up. And it's not deep, but you're still...
It's not easy to lift somebody out of the water.
No.
However,
Especially with 5 layers of clothes on.
you tie a line to the cleats and you hang it down for a loop to step into, and there are tricks to get back up, and you got to learn these things along the way, which I have learned, and I've actually had to implement them because I had to get onto the privateer, which has no ladders and nothing to climb up, and I had to get back on the boat from a dive. From diving, and had to get back on, and that's what we did. We tied a line to the cleats, looping it down so I could step on it, at least get my foot up there and pull myself up to hold the cleat, and now you have something to stand on.
Right, but if you don't have anybody there to give you a rope and you're swimming, forget it.
Yep, you're up the river without a paddle. So that's why I say to people that, and now the water temperature, that is seriously cold. I tell people during the end of the season that this is, the water gets to a deadly temperature.
Oh,
It
took me 15 seconds to get out of the water, and in those 15 seconds, I couldn't feel my feet or my fingers.
Right. And that's just 15 seconds in the water. I mean, count 15 seconds now. So it's funny you say that, because I just saw a commercial for the Titanic Museum. And this was really cool how they did this. But the Titanic Museum has this bucket of water that you can reach your hand into that shows you the temperature of the water that they fell into. And they offer you like $15,000 if you can keep your hand in that bucket for 2 minutes.
Oh, it's painful.
And everybody's hand is out of the bucket within, I think the longest is like 20 seconds that somebody kept their hand in there, 20 seconds. And, cold water is not fun.
No.
That's why I say at the river I need like a 40. I need the sun to be out at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, today would have been an awesome day. It was beautiful.
Oh,
out.
today was beautiful. Absolutely. So days like today, I will definitely be at the Connecticut River fishing. I don't, man, your feet, you're still in the water. So you're in.
Right.
You're still feeling the cold. You're not cold. You're not wet.
Right. You wear a nice thick layer of wool socks. You're okay.
Yeah.
You're wearing good pair of waders. You're good.
Right.
But
you're in the
cold.
water. You step into the water. You feel the water.
Yes.
Now you're touching the water when you're handling fish
Mm-hmm.
and catching fish because we catch fish. And your hands get cold from handling the fish and touching the water and being in the water. So, when you're there on a 30-degree day,
that water is as
your
cold as it could
guides
get.
are freezing. And it's just, for me, that I say to people, it just takes the fun out of it for me. So I want to go and enjoy myself. I
Right.
do.
Right.
If I'm going to go fishing, I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to be fighting the elements to, haul in a fish that I can haul in when it's 50 degrees out.
Right. Last week I went out blackfishing, and you spend 5 minutes outside, 10 minutes outside, and you go back inside. It's too cold.
Yeah.
You catch 1-2 fish, and you're like, okay, time to go back in. Let me make myself a cup of coffee. Let me warm up. And then you go back outside if you have a cabin.
So, no, thank you. I will wait till the springtime because once that temperature hits 50, I will be back out there. I can't wait to unwrap the boat. We have a lot of cool, fun things to do this year. But first and foremost, big shout out to all the listeners and the guys. We have a lot of fans that listen to it on the audio spectrum, so you get it anywhere you get your podcast. It built up, and it's being listened to in 5 countries, which just blows my mind. So it doesn't matter whether we're talking about the Long Island Sound or the Sound in the Carolinas or whatever we're talking about, because what we're talking about happens everywhere.
Right.
And this is why I didn't realize, we feel like this is homegrown Huntington, North Shore of Long Island. I didn't realize that it would spawn into people listening to it,
all over
the place. And with some of our biggest listeners really being west of us, not just Manny. Manny's, everybody knows Manny. Manny's famous by now, which is kind of cool. Manny from the West. So there's probably going to be a shirt Manny from the West, without a doubt, But last week, I did not put the episode up on Thursday. I did record it. So I had a power issue that was a power issue outside of the studio, causing an issue inside the studio, and the camera shut off on me twice. I figured out the problem for the next podcast that I had to produce. And they sat down, we produced it, and the camera, everything was fine. So I did my podcast after that. Went home. Now it's Friday. It's late. I go home. I edit. I put it together. It's Saturday, and so I didn't put it up on Thursday. I didn't get it up on Friday. Recorded it on Friday. Didn't put it up on Saturday, and I started to get messages. When it's not up Thursday, 6 o'clock, guys send emails, text messages, you name it. They reach out, and they're like, hey, we don't want to have to go back to watching our old videos. Is everything okay? So John, Mr. Pepsi, who I'm going to put the lures up here, got a funny story for you. And, being that it's the holiday season, Diet Coke has a Santa Claus on the can. Now, last week, I think it was Sunday, I'd have to look at the text message, and he said, hey, Captain, is everything okay? You didn't put the episode up on Facebook. And I think he said it's Saturday because I think I put it up Sunday morning. And I wrote back, yeah, hey, I appreciate you reaching out. Thank you. Which I try to respond to everybody's, messages. So if I ever miss any, it's really by human error. So sorry that I missed it. And he signed off Pepsi. And so, John, I know who you are. I know Pepsi. I know you're a Pepsi distributor. I love it. I heard something recently about Coke, and I got to dig this up and do a little more research. But I heard the reason Santa Claus is white and red is because Coca-Cola created Santa Claus. I'm going to look into this a little bit more. I could tell you a little bit of a gist of what I heard, that Chris Kringle was a guy that was able to dislocate his shoulder and go down chimneys and steal people's presents. And they put a spin on it. And I'm going to look that up for, there he is. There's Santa Claus. He's on the can.
That's some conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm not big on any conspiracies, but when I hear things, I'll go look it up. It's worth the entertainment value.
Especially if it's Coca-Cola related.
You know, it's right. You can't complain when, Coca-Cola wants to sponsor your podcast. Nobody's turning that down. And we do have the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club kicking off. That's very exciting. We're excited to launch that. But me and Corey have even bigger news moving into 2026. And it's going to take some time before we announce it to the public. However, the founding members that joined Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club are going to get invited to the first, luncheon or to the first meeting that we're going to have. And we're bursting at the seams. Like, we can't wait to tell you. And they're super excited. I mean, this is bigger and better than anything we've ever expected it to be. And again, it all spawns off of the podcast. Sitting on the back of the boat just saying, hey, I'm going to start a podcast and just see what happens. And, pretty grateful for where we've landed, where we're at. We're excited to be at the show. So we got, I think the first show of the season is the New York Boat Show at the Javits Center. That's January 21st to the 25th. Yep. That's the first one. Second one is the Copeg Fire Department, the Marine Unit Fishing Expo. That's going to be on January 31st. All right. Then it goes into the first week of March is the first year Ward Melville show is doing a Saturday, Sunday show.
Right.
So Bob Wilson, he's growing this. I mean, that show is epic.
As of right now, best one on Long Island.
Best show on Long Island, hands down. And we were excited last year when we got the call that we were in the gymnasium.
Oh, we got lucky with that one.
Yeah, so you want to be, and listen, it doesn't matter where you are at this show. It does not matter where you are. If you're there attending it and you're in the hallways or you're in anywhere you have your booth, you're privileged to be there. It's one of the best. Guys come from the whole tri-state area.
Jersey, Connecticut, everybody's coming down to see that show.
We met Simon from Major Craft, and there's a whole, Joe Baggs and a whole bunch of the other companies that show up, and you're going to see all the biggest stars in fishing at that show for Long Island,
right?
And they're there. You know what I mean? And
some of the YouTube guys,
the seminars, the YouTubers, exactly.
The big tuna fishermen from the South Shore.
Yep. You got Adam over at the Tuna Cartel.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try to get him on this year. He had a great year. I mean, he was crushing it. And you had a good year out there on the tuna this year with Scott and the boys and Joe. I sat next to him at Dean's wedding, and he was like, "Yo, I'm out of here." He was leaving to go. He was leaving to go hit the canyons, and he was sticking out the wedding as long as he could. And talking to Eric and the guys last night at dinner, everybody's getting in on. I want to say 2026 is probably going to be one of the biggest tuna fishing years.
I think so. In
the tri-state area,
more people are getting into it. It's becoming the tuna are coming in closer.
It's like you're hooked. Right. They call you the tuna junkie now.
That's it. I got the itch.
You got the itch. You got the bite, and it's not like you just go to a dock and catch these fish.
No, it's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, it's not like getting on a boat and going out into Long Island Sound and looking for striped bass or albies or anything. This is a complete different ballgame.
This is the whole open ocean. You go so far, you can't see land anymore. It's just different.
Right. And, at the Ward Melville show, there's booths that sell a lot of tuna gear. Mm-hmm. At the boat show, you got Chris from Pelagic, from Pelagic that opened up. He had a great booth there last year. He had probably like 6 or 8 booths. He had a big setup. He opened up a shop in Montauk this year, and while we were out there for the Montauk Canyon Challenge. So we went over to his shop and filmed a little bit and showed some love. And we're excited to be out there. We're going to be 8 days at the Montauk Yacht Club for the Montauk Canyon Challenge this year. And
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be epic. We're excited about that. Especially this year because we're going to be more, this year we went to it just to be there and get our feet wet with Chris and the gang. And the invite expanded to now we know we're going to be interviewing captains and talking to people about the fish they caught, you know, how they caught them, what they used, and obviously not their Latin longitude because nobody's going to be sharing what canyon, you know, they were out at. But at the same time, it's going to be exciting to get all perspectives of that tournament.
Right.
From being on the boat, talking to captains, you being out there fishing, all the fun stuff we're going to bring. So Bay Rats and Buoys is really going to bring something big to the table for the Montauk Canyon Challenge this year. We're very excited. I mean, Eric last night was even talking about purchasing a Viking.
That's fucking.
So, you know, when those are the talks at the table you're at, you know you're rubbing elbows with the right people. But Eric, you know, he won. He was super excited. And Keith brought it up last night. He's like, I can't believe that Eric won the blackfishing rod for Bay Rats and Buoys with the Facebook post because Keith comments on everything.
Right.
They love the podcast. Eric loves the podcast. They watch it. They listen to it. They comment on it. They, they interact. And I showed them. I pulled it out on the phone. And I said, I have the app here. It still has all the names on it from the people that entered into, because I had to type the names into it. Right? So that whole list is still there. I pull up the app. I hit tap on screen and let it spin and showed them that it's going to be a random name that now it pulls up. And it did.
Yeah.
It pulled up a
could be
random
anybody
name.
there.
I could not believe I sat down here, tapped the button, and his name. That me saying I couldn't believe it. Yeah, what did I say? Like, you got to be kidding me or something. I was like, no way. You know, I just couldn't believe it was Eric. So couldn't have happened to a better person. Eric's a great captain, great skipper on his boat. He's got a 38 outrage in the Huntington Yacht Club, and everybody's looking to upgrade. They will be at the boat show this year. So, you know what? It'll be a great time to sit down with Eric for 10, 15 minutes and, introduce you guys. You guys will, see and get his perspective of somebody that's actually at the boat show looking to trade in, trade up on a 38 outrage, for a serious boat.
Yeah.
And looking to get into something bigger and better.
Right. My dad's looking to do the same thing at the boat show.
Yep. And stepping out of the 27-foot sailfish for something different, bigger and better. And, there's so many options at the boat show. And that's why when you go to it, it can be overwhelming. It can be confusing for people because they go to it thinking they're going to figure out what they need and what they want.
Right.
My recommendation for anybody going to the boat show is get there Wednesday or Thursday to walk around and jump on the boats and not wait for the weekend. Because the weekend, you got a lot of people that are there on the boats that really are there for some entertainment value. They sell a lot of boats there. But there's people there that are, they got their kids, they're pushing strollers, there's,
They're coming to look at the boats.
That's right.
They're not
coming to
buy
enjoy
one.
the boat show. And if you're a serious buyer, my recommendation is get there Wednesday or Thursday for the first day. And you'll be able to seriously talk to the guys and spend some time and get on the boats that you really want to
absolutely
check out.
There's nothing more, in my opinion at least, when you're going to buy something, whether it be a car, whether it be a boat, when those salespersons are stressed out with a lot of people, now your whole interaction is kind of put off a little bit.
Yeah, well, again, you're just dealing with a salesperson in general. They're looking to make a sale, so
right.
Selling a boat is like selling a home. It's just
course.
as expensive, if not more.
Yeah.
And
I'm saying when going back to on the weekend when there's so many people there, now they're dealing with this guy and that guy, and let me show you this. Don't hop on with your shoes on. Now they're almost babysitting everybody who's not actually interested in a boat. Whereas if you come on during the week or on the first or second day, and it's a little bit more calm, they're going to be a little bit more lenient.
That's why I'm recommending to go Wednesday, Thursday, check it out. Yeah. But the show, it's the biggest boat show. It really is. I mean, I got to hit the boat shows this year in Florida. You got the yacht capital of the world in Fort Lauderdale. I definitely want to hit that. And the one in Miami is epic. I actually want a podcast at one of the two. We want to hit the big, which one is it? The Icon?
Yeah.
And we want to hit the
ICAST?
ICAST fishing show. We missed that one last year. You were supposed to be heading to another country, so we said we'll put it off. And because we got to go and check that out for sure. But I can't wait at the boat show this year to see. We were talking about this last night. Eric was comparing two boats that he's looking at, and he's really, do you want a Viking where you could stand in the engine room, or do you want a Viking that you don't have to stand in the engine room because the standing room is like a 50-foot and over? That changes the price tag.
Right.
So there's variances, different things that you want on your boat you don't want. You don't need. I can't wait to see what Yamaha does to compete with the 600 Merc that they came out with, because they told me last year at Yamaha through an inside source that they were stretching out a big engine. I think they were coming out with like a 550. They were coming out with the biggest motor that they had produced so far. And Eric happens to be friends with somebody in his marina that makes engines and knows engines so well. And, I've heard in the past, when they come out with new stuff and they do make these things, is it great? Yeah, it does, is it great to buy something when it first comes out? No. When they converted the Corvette from 82 to 84 and they didn't make one in 83, the 84 was probably the worst Corvette ever made. And that's just a perfect analogy of telling you,
it's just like the new phones. And when one of the new phones come out, you try it. There's some bugs. There's something wrong with it. It bends all of a sudden. And then it goes back, and then they remake a new one, and now it's better.
Yeah, the cameras, they sell you on it's a new camera, which I got the new 16 this year because I wanted, I'm on the boat taking pictures of people with fish. And
you need a new phone.
I should have the best camera out there on the water doing what we do. We have GoPros everywhere. We're always filming stuff. And even this year, we're going to take that to a whole nother level. Very excited about that. What else is going on this wintertime? I really, everybody's winterized. Everybody's covered. So the boats are put away. And now we're all just waiting. We're going to hit the Connecticut River. We'll do a little fly fishing. Maybe a couple trips down south. We got all the shows coming up. So, we're 34 days away from the New York Boat Show. That's a month away.
Yeah.
So you're a month away from the boat show, and I feel once we get to that, it really starts to go pretty quick before you know it. It's Valentine's Day, and then you're into the fishing shows that they all wait until March. So the only one you have is this year's new show, which we're very excited to be at. They got 40-plus vendors. They're going to have food trucks, and it's going to be an epic show, and it's right here in the town, the studio that we're sitting in. It's going to be the Copeg Fire Department Marine Unit Fishing Expo. It's January 31st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the Ward Melville show is the Saturday and Sunday. It's the 7th and 8th of March. So if you ask me, those are going to be the two local Long Island shows that you're going to see me and Corey walking around at. We will be there for Bay Rats and Buoys. If you want to come by, say hello, meet us. Get some merchandise, whatever, whatever's going on. Get involved if you want to sign up for the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club and become one of the founding members. We'll be putting up on the website and all the perks and whatnot, why you would want to sign up and do it. Super excited to invite you guys to that. And hopefully you join and you come make the first meeting and we start the camaraderie and get out there and have a lot of fun on the water. So this is going to be a great year. Super excited about it. This is episode 62 in the studio. Because, I'm not sitting on my boat, but geez, I should have the countdown of when I'm going to be back on the boat doing the podcast. Although, I'm pretty happy in the studio.
Yeah, it's nice and warm here.
Yeah, the elements, the wind. Days, just to give you an example, I get down there. I can't tell you how many times I've set up the camera, set up the mic, been ready to go. And talk to one or two people on the dock and actually getting good intel that I'm going to talk about in the episode with people that are just getting back from fishing and, from an all morning out there or an all after, whatever. And the wind kicks up to the point where I got to change the direction of where I'm sitting so that the wind's at my back. You don't really want it blowing into the microphone. And all episodes came out really, really good. But there were some days sitting on the boat that I had to say, I can't do it.
Right.
Just can't do it. So this time of the year, coming into the studio, I love being in here, and I'm here all day and working on other people's podcasts. And ISM, we're going to have some real big news to launch right after the new year, which is, I can't believe it's just 2 weeks away. We got Corey in the house today, so episode 62, special week before Christmas. This is the I should have had you wear your Grinch outfit.
The Hanukkah special.
Yeah, that's it. It's the Hanukkah special because it is officially Hanukkah right now. I know my daughter's texting me and saying, what can I open? What can I get? And it's every night there's prizes because it's Hanukkah right now. So happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy Chanukah. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you're celebrating. Happy New Year. We got it all wrapping up in 2 weeks. I can't believe it, but that's it. Episode 62 is in the books. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This was epic. It's always a treat to have Corey's Customs in here. Are you working on anything in the wintertime? Are you going to make anything new? Anything in the works?
Nothing in the works as of right now.
Okay, good. So we'll work on some stuff for the boat show then.
Yep.
And get that ready because we have a surprise for you guys. Come to the boat show. Get excited. We have a lot of big things to launch in 2026. And one of them, you guys are going to be like super excited about. When I tell you, I am not even joking. You are going to be like, holy shit, that's awesome. We feel the same way. We're bursting at the seams. We can't wait to tell you. But in the meantime, we're building it, making it, and you'll see it come 2026. Get excited. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate all our loyal listeners. You guys are awesome. Happy holidays. Captain Gaige and Captain Corey signing out. We'll see you guys next week for episode 63. Over and out.